What's up, everyone? It's the girl Tamara Ivey here with Ashley Stewart and Ashley TV. OMG, how you guys doing? Woo! It's day what of the what? OMG. Listen, I don't know about y'all, but I am trying to stay safe, trying to maintain and still slay. You guys know I love a good slay, a good hair slay, makeup slay. How's everyone doing out there? OMG, I hope everyone's hanging in there. And, I know there's a lot going on right now in the world, and we are, trying to stay together and stay safe and, just stay positive. But, it's always good to tune into Ashley Stewart because we always have some great and informative news and updates for our girl. We want to make sure that she's informed about all the good things that's happening in our world. So speaking of that, we will be opening up some stores next week. OMG, how exciting. Make sure you hit the store locator on ashleystewart.com to find out about your nearest store and how you can set up an appointment to shop with one of our fabulous girl squads. Shout out to all the stores that are opening up softly state by state. And again, you want to partner with your Ashley Stewart store that's locally located. Oh, what's going on tonight? Located near you. Anyway, we're live and it happens, right? Shout out to everyone that's tuned in. Adelia, I see you. I see everyone that's tuned in. We have a special live show tonight with 2017 top 6 winner Shadawn McCants, who's going to be joining us, and I cannot wait for you guys to hear her story. It's amazing. It's important. It's very, very important for us to hear this, to share this, and for you guys to not only take these interviews that we do as just, to come on and join the comments and be a part of the conversation, but to also take the information from it and share it. Shadawn is going to be sharing her story of HIV and, how she came out last year, about her status and the effects it's having right now on, anyone with HIV and COVID-19. She has a great platform that she's doing out in Houston. And before we get to her, I want to give you guys some other updates. Make sure you guys text Store Diva, that's STOREDIVA, to 28789 for any updates, any deals with Ashley Stewart. You guys already know. And again, for those reopening updates, make sure you hit that store locator at ashleystewart.com for that as well. Now, you guys know we have our weekly Facebook schedule. Shout out to my girl Darnell. She's killing it with the caption contest. Did you guys enter? Did you caption it? Make sure you go on Instagram and Facebook for your chance to win a $100 Ashley Stewart gift card. And again, summer is coming, and OMG, we are bringing the heat with all these fashions, honey. Yes, we are. Our latest collections are looking fabulous, and make sure you get those Fearless jeans for $19.99. Hey D, we see you, boo. Your booty's looking bootylicious. OMG. I hope you guys make sure you listen. You bought the Iconics. Make sure you go and get the Fearless, okay? So you have the full collection. And I think there's one more. All right, now, you guys know that we also had the fabulous interview with Lonnie Love. You can also visit our Facebook page and see that interview and, hear what's going on in LA. And, even though this interview happened in April, it's still, happening now. The interview was a great interview. All of our interviews, all of our girls, Teresa, Tiffany, and Adelia, Kiki, everybody, Jeannie, thank you all for being our previous guests. But we have such a great lineup coming for you guys on these Facebook lives. On these IG lives. And we also have our Girl That's Hot show that comes on Saturday at 8 p.m. Now, with Girl That's Hot, we're giving you everything that's hot. Hot in the new collection, hot online now. Anything that you want, we are bringing that heat, okay? All right, so now UGC. Everybody wants to be a model. Everybody's asking, how do I be a model? How? All right, so with the UGC, all you have to do with UGC is make sure you tag Ashley Stewart at by Ashley Stewart. Make sure you tag it in the comments. So you want to say, I'm wearing at by Ashley Stewart, and use the hashtag Ashley Stewart for more visibility as well. We're just waiting for Shadawn to come on in. She is over on Central Standard Time, Texas time. Delia, if you don't mind, I don't know if you can hear me, make sure you just ping Shadawn and let her know that we are on and we are waiting for her. So we are going live right now, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then 5 p.m. her time, Houston. All right. So we're just gonna chitter chatter for a little bit. I see somebody's asking a question. All right. Now, if you're going to ask me questions, make sure you ask something that I can use my brain, okay? This is a business platform, and we want to make sure we're giving you the business. Okay? Not what you're doing, how you're doing. You can see clearly how we're doing and what we're doing, all right? Shout out to our Harlem team. I see you guys in the building. All right, all right. Now, with these IG Lives, we love engaging with you all. We love talking to you all, and we love making sure that you guys are informed and you guys are happy. Shadawn is in, and we're going to chime her in right now. Hi, Shadawn.
Hello.
Al.
Al.
Hi, lovely.
Hello. How are you?
Woo!
You know, I had to give them 2017. Kick back.
What is it? Houston up in this. What she does?
Up in this, you know what?
Okay, I think it's this one. Everybody, please welcome one of our first round of girls. She made it to the top 20. She made it to the top 6. Made it to New York, all the way from Houston, Miss Shadawn McCants. Hi, girl. You look
Yes, great. I am so happy to be here. You look so beautiful.
Thank you.
As usual, queen.
Yes,
I'm just happy you guys have decided to, tonight is my night to be here. I'm excited. So thank you for allowing me this opportunity to come before my Ashley family and really have a very candid conversation about all things Ashley Stewart, the movement, and just, of course, what am I doing?
Right. So let everybody know your name, where you're originally from, and how'd you get to Houston?
So my name is Shadawn McCants. I am a licensed professional counselor. I've been a licensed counselor for 7 years here in Houston, Texas. However, by way of Cincinnati, Ohio. I have been in Houston, I believe July will make 11 years. And I tell people when I came to Houston, it was for 2 reasons in this order: warm weather and work.
Right.
No other order. So that's how I made it to Houston. And I knew that there was vast opportunities for employment, and it was time for a shift. It was time for a change, and I love it here.
Right. Nice. So now, let's go back to 2017. Let's take it back. So for those of you who know about Finding Ashley Stewart, you guys know this is our consumer engagement contest, and this is where we find Ashley Stewart, one of our top customers. She'll have a chance, or previously had a chance, to win $10,000, be featured in campaigns, social media, fly to New York for a makeover shoot, all of that, sponsor gifts and everything. Now, you were part of the first round of girls, the first 20 round of girls. And one of the things that came out of that creation was the voting parties. You created the voting parties. It was phenomenal thing. Can you talk about how you campaigned for yourself, how you rallied people to come and sit in the audience for you? Talk about the Black Girls Rock and those face fans. Go.
So yes, 2017 was a phenomenal year. The competition was in Houston in March. And I'm going to be very honest, I don't even think you know this, Tamara. I was not going to enter the competition. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And so one of my girlfriends at the time was like, no, Shadawn, you really need to do it. And so I went to the store, of course, signed up, and of course, became one of the top 20 for the Houston store. It was a wonderful run. And by the time it came down to our voting, so, you go through this process, you guys, tour around the city, you get all the ladies. And by the time it was time for us to vote, it was also in the midst of Hurricane Harvey. And so I don't know if you guys remember that. It was really extensive for us, or for myself and my other 2 women that were top 20 or top 3 here in Houston. it was like, well, what are we gonna do? We need to, get some synergy around making sure that Houston knows we're here, that Ashley knows we're here. And so I just thought to myself, I can't tell one of my secrets, but I started printing out, pictures and logos of myself. And literally, I went to clubs at night and put push cards on people's cars. I was
Yep.
out at the clubs and hey, I'm finding Ashley Stewart, one of
Yep.
the contestants. And so when it got down to top 20 and it was time to vote, it was like, well, what are we going to do? It was coming close. So I partnered with my store on Kirby. Love you guys. Shout out to my
Yes. Shout out to
Kirby
our
store.
Kirby girls in
Yes. And
Houston.
I asked the other two girls that were with me, Ashley and Nicole Rochelin, I was like, hey guys, we need to get some synergy around ourselves. Like, we were able to see where we were in the voting pool. One minute we go to bed, we are top. Next thing we wake up, we at the bottom. So it was like, let's do something. And so there was one large event we did, and it was with NBA, James Harden, his basketball game. So we went there and we promoted. We had our flyers. We were in the spot, got a spotlight on 97.9 The Box. I was excited.
Yep. I know.
And then from there, yes. And then from there, I decided, I was like, you know what, guys, let's do a party. Let's do a voting party. Let's go to our store and get, it was the last 24 hours. I was like, we are going to push it. We are going to get there. We're going to do everything that we have to do. So we went. We invited a DJ. We had some vendors come, and we just did a party. And it was honestly moment for moment, second for second, getting people like, hey, we need your votes. Every vote counts. I'll never forget my boss. He has six sons, him, his wife, and they have like 13 devices in their house. Every hour they were voting.
Yes. OMG.
So it was
That was
intense.
a beautiful moment. Talk about once you heard your name announced, you got to New York, you partnered with an organization.
Yes. So actually what I did is even before I got to New York, I reached out to Black Girls Rock. That is an organization that again, as we sit here, we are beautiful Black women, and I know we rock. And so I reached out to them to ask them if they knew or had an opportunity for some of their young ladies that maybe they partnered with to get tickets. So what I actually did was I campaigned on my own personal page and within my private circle and asked, because the tickets at the time were only $25. I partnered with some of my friends and I asked them if they will be willing, since they couldn't come, to sponsor a young lady. So what I was able to do was sponsor 50 young ladies from the New York area. And so I partnered with a young lady that I had never met, that I didn't know, but was connected, and she had a young girls group. And so what I did was I purchased the 50 tickets with the money that was donated from my Cincinnati and Houston family, and I still love you guys for that. And I was able to give 50 tickets away to 50 young girls in the New York area who came to the show and were there. They created fans with my face
on them.
Yes. And it was a phenomenal time to have them and my family there, because my family were actually the ones who created the fans and gave them out to everybody that came to support. So it was phenomenal. It was an awesome time.
Yes, OMG. It was awesome. The girls supported. They were online. Great memories. So we met in 2017, and your energy was amazing. We're around the same age, so I think that was one of the electrifying things for me. And then you pulled me to the side and you told me, and I was like, okay, right? And I said to you, I don't care. I want everyone to know how important, HIV awareness is to you. In 2019, you came out to the world, and congratulations, because that is such you have no idea the level of fierceness that is. You know what I'm saying? People say, I'm fierce. I'm fearless. I'm this. That is you took it to the next level. You know what I'm saying? And you really have become and are becoming the face of this is how your life could turn out if you take this and do this with it. So I'm going to let you introduce, what it is. We already talked about it, but, go ahead.
So yes, so as you said, in 2017, I was still living in a space where I was very selective about who I told. But you're right, there was an energy between us, and I just felt connected to tell you that piece of my story. One, because I was still, of course, hopeful that I would become Ashley Stewart 2017, and I did not know what that looked like for the organization. So I wanted to be candid with you. But I was still living in the shadows of shame and guilt. And so, as you know, from 2017 to 2019, I kind of went on I call it a spiritual journey. I knew always from the moment I was diagnosed at age 17 years old that my HIV status would be something that eventually would become, I don't want to say a platform, but it was going to be something that I knew I was not going to be able to keep to myself. And so last year, I decided in a lot of tarrying and praying and, spiritual meditation that it was time. It was time for me to share my story. And the reason that it was time for me to share my story was because I didn't see many women that looked like me. I didn't see women that were bold, that were courageous, that were thriving and just doing the damn thing and unadulterated, unapologetically Black and beautiful and living with HIV. I'm not saying that they did not exist. I just did not see many that looked like me. And also because as being a therapist, a person that is a lover of souls, a person who is about healing from past traumas and not living under the shadows of stigma and shame, it was time for me to share my story. And so what I decided to do was create a YouTube channel, and it's entitled My HIV Story. And I really did it not for me. I did it for the women that are out there that don't have a voice, or they believe that they don't have a voice. Well, guess what? I'm here to be a voice for you. I did it for the woman who was not ready or able to show her face because of stigma, and stigma being the ignorance of the world in which, HIV supposedly has a look or a face or a talk or a walk, and it really doesn't. And I did it even more importantly, too, because African-American women are one of the largest disproportionately impacted by HIV. And so again, I couldn't sit quiet. I couldn't sit still and allow women that look like me, that walk like me, thrive like me, to not understand that HIV, one, is not a death sentence. HIV is not ugly. It's not crippled. It's not blind. It's not darkness, but it is individuals that are living and thriving boldly and unapologetically in their skin. I'm not HIV. It's just a part of my journey. And so that's what, how it got started. And you're right. My life has taken a whirlwind since really, really coming out to the world and living bold in my story. So.
Woo, so compelling, honey. Okay. I mean, your story is so amazing because, like you said, you don't see a woman that looks like you with HIV representing that. You understand? And walking in her truth. Like, you are walking in your truth to the point where I have so much respect for you. I don't even know it's not enough words to describe it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you
don't
are
make me
on
cry on here.
I know you're on another level, and that strength and that energy, I commend you. It has also awarded you the point to the point where you're able to start organizations on your own. I noticed that you've been having a lot of Facebook lives and IG lives and deep conversations with other women in your circle. Talk about that.
So, again, one of the things is that I knew as I came out with my story, again, it's not my story. It's mine, but it's not. It's for the world. And so what I wanted to do was make sure that I changed the narrative, again, around what HIV looks like in the Black community and specifically for women of color. We are there's a bunch of us out here. Like, honestly, since I've walked into this space, I've met some phenomenal, some powerhouse women who are as well thriving. And so what I wanted to do, and my hope and my goal is one, like I said, to give a voice to the voiceless, a face to the faceless, and also for us that are out here, show who we are, let the world know that we're here, we're not going anywhere, that we matter. And so I've been using my platform to have different candid, courageous conversations around HIV in the Black community, HIV in Black women, as far as mental health and HIV, and just all things. Just, I'm a mental health therapist at first, first and foremost, but I'm also a woman living with HIV. So I'm just trying to merge the two worlds and give the community what I feel we need and what has been missing. And I'm not going to stop. So
very smart. Very, very smart. So let's elaborate more on the broader spectrum, the elephant in the room. How's COVID-19 affecting, people in Houston or, people in your network?
Whew. So COVID-19 is, I won't say the word, but it's a beast. I'll use the other B word. It's a beast. As far as my community as a whole, I'm not, HIV and COVID-19, let's just have that candid conversation. It's, there's no studies that really say how impactful it is to an individual that's living with HIV. So real quick and real brief, let me really preface this. So an individual living with HIV, there's an objective, there's a goal. Our goal is to live undetectable, meaning that if we're living undetectable, our immune systems are fighting. They're just as normal, if not better than you are someone else that's not living with HIV. So the auspice is that an individual such as myself and individuals, our goal is to live undetectable, means that we are untransmittable and that our immune system is fighting and it ain't giving up. And so there's no real information or studies to say that we are more impacted. Now, if an individual, though, is living with HIV, one, and does not know their status, or two, is not in treatment, then yes, they are more susceptible to contracting COVID-19 and in not having a more welcomed outcome. What I will say, and I'm very proud of, is that no one in my circle has been impacted by COVID-19, necessarily, let me say, anyone living with HIV. But I have had other friends who have contracted COVID-19, but they've recovered. The other thing is I'm gonna be a little, proud, is that my doctor actually is also one of the doctors here in Houston, Dr. Joseph Gaff, who's on the front line with another doctor, Dr. Verone, and they are actually leading the fight and the charge in making sure that we don't lose lives behind COVID-19 here in Houston, Texas. Nice. So I will say that, I'm not trying to contract COVID, but I do know that if it did happen, one, like I said about HIV, I'm not going to die. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to continue to fight. But I also have a doctor who is phenomenal in the work, and he's in the front line. So, I don't want anybody to think that, yes, just because a person is living with HIV, oh my God, because there's layers to that. And so my goal is that each individual know your status, get tested, so that it's not an issue that if God forbid, you contract COVID-19 or coronavirus, that you don't have a worse outcome. So that's my thoughts on that. So yeah, we are down here thriving. We are down here doing what we have to do. We're social isolating, but we're continuing to have parties online. I have to be honest, I got drunk one night from a party. It was so lit.
Well, that was great. Yeah. I was going to ask you, how have you been keeping busy during the pandemic?
So of course, as you said, I've been keeping busy by doing my interactions on Facebook and Instagram, making sure that I keep the community abreast to, how to maintain mentally and emotionally in the midst of COVID-19. So that's been a really, really huge thing for me. I'm still working remote from home. Now I'm going a little stir crazy there. But I've actually thrown myself into education. So that's really how I'm keeping myself busy. I've chosen to, I'm a learner. I love to learn. That is my self-care. One of my self-care practices is actually learning, so that I can, again, be available and accessible, and a source of knowledge for those that are in the community that I serve. So that's been some of the ways. And of course, I have a girlfriend, shameless plug. She does doc-tails every Saturday at 7 p.m. And it's two doctors, they're PhDs, and they have a doc-tail, and we just have real, I don't want to say messy, but it's just real good dialogue. So I look forward to that every Saturday as well. So
I'm
really staying engaged.
That's nice. Now, As you mentioned earlier, you've had HIV since you were 17. Now,
Mhm.
we have a lot of things happening right now during the pandemic, okay? We have homelessness on the rise, domestic violence on the rise, not trying to just gear it towards women, but this is a feminine platform. What advice do you have for young women or women in general that are going through rough times during the pandemic?
So one of the things that my biggest encouragement or words of would be is that you matter. I need you to know, and I'm looking dead at you, that you matter.
Yeah.
And don't give up. Don't stop fighting. So yes, if it's a woman that is living in the midst of domestic violence, the shelters, especially here in Houston, are still accepting. They have not stopped. Extensive money has been given to expand the work for those that are working with individuals that may be experiencing domestic violence. Here in the state of Texas, we've also created a 24-hour, 7 days a week hotline through the Texas Health and Human Services Division. So I'm often always putting that out there. If you are at home alone or even in a house full and you all have cell phones, get on the phone and reach out to someone. We professionals like myself are on the other line there to help you. The other thing that I would tell you as a woman is take your cape off. Take your cape off. It's okay to not be okay. If you are not okay, again, reach out to someone. If you have a therapist already, reach out to your therapist. If you don't and you are insured, I need you to go to your insurance company and find providers in your area. If you have access to the internet, go to psychologytoday.com and find you a therapist. You can specialize in what it is that you want: white, black, Asian, small, tall, whatever your area is that you're seeking services. But what I want you to know again is that you matter. You are not alone. And
Right.
please ask for the help that you need. There are so
Amen.
many of us out here connected to help you. So that's the biggest thing that I would tell any woman that's affected by any pandemic, whether it be, like we said, child abuse, because there are some people out here, some of our children are adolescents who still fall under CPS guidelines, that if someone is doing something to you that is not right, I want you to either call CPS, which is Child Protective Services, or 911, because I don't want you to sit there and endure that pain. If you are someone that knows of someone that is experiencing any of these horrible incidents, such as child abuse, domestic violence, any form of violence, sexual violence, please speak up. We need to speak up. We cannot sit quiet and allow our sisters or our brothers to go through anything. We can't. I'm a big proponent of communication and connectedness. That's what we're built for as human beings. So that's what I definitely would encourage each and every person, male or female, but definitely my women, please reach out.
Yes, very well said. OMG. Well, we know we're in the middle of a pandemic and everybody's waiting for our next big career move. Talk about some awards where you've been honored during your time, and then also talk about any things that you have coming up in your career.
Well, awards, of course. I feel like one of the biggest awards was, again, standing on the stage, being crowned top 6, Ashley Stewart, one of the first. So that was a huge award for me that I still hold and I cherish very close, because that was something that, again, I became a part of a family. So that's, again, a huge award that I received. I received awards, of course, for when I'm speaking at engagements at colleges or universities. So I've gotten those type of awards. I'm still waiting on some big ones. I'm not, I got some people that I can't wait to meet, maybe an Emmy or a Grammy, who knows?
You never know.
There are some individuals that I really, really, I cannot wait to be on their platform. Some initiatives, though, and things that I'm a part of. I'm actually a part of Top Ladies of Distinction here in Houston, which is all about community service and giving back. So I am a top lady, as well as I am a part of and co-chair of Texas Black Women's Health Initiative, which is, again, yes, all things Black women, all things the health initiative. It's rooted in, of course, the HIV epidemic, and definitely causing and bringing synergy around that narrative, and how do we stomp it out? How do we stop it? And then I created my own nonprofit, which is To Know Is to Live. And that's all about advocacy, education, and equipping the Black woman to know her status, get tested, and definitely just change the narrative. It's necessary. And so what's on the horizon for me is just continuing to grow as a woman that is licensed professional counselor, a lover of souls, a healer, and an individual that is all about making sure that the community that I serve, we understand that healing is essential, that things have happened to us. Whether we want to admit it or not, trauma is real in the African American community. So what does that look like? And how do we heal? And first, that starts with knowledge. That starts with imparting that education into my community and into the community that I love. And definitely more intentional about working with Black women who are living with HIV, and definitely changing the narrative, allowing us not to be afraid of the conversation. What does that look like? We're sexual beings. So I know we all we enjoy getting it in, whether it's with our husband, our fiance, our boo or booze. We enjoy it. So what I just want us to do is just make sure that we're making responsible decisions when that's the act that we're choosing to take part in. So those are some of the things that are coming up. Definitely more speaking engagements, and my hope is to tour and definitely, educate around sexy and courageous conversation.
I said on the touring, once everything gets
back up.
I don't even know if that's going to be happening, because you got to stay 6 feet apart, and I don't know, and all that. Anyway.
I have faith that it will happen. Again, I'm really at this space where I think it won't be before next year. However, until then, I hope to be able to create some digital platforms where some webinars and some education, again, working with some colleges and universities and even schools to bring, again, awareness around HIV, getting tested, and other STIs, because that's not the only one that's out there that's not curable. So definitely some more sexy, candid, courageous conversations with me.
Good. So where can we find you on social media?
You can find me at, everything is actually under Shadawn McCants.
Okay.
I'm just going to say that. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, everything for the most part is under Shadawn McCants. I do have my website, Know and Live Counseling and Consulting. It's knowandlivecounseling.com. And so, and of course, if you find me, more than likely, I am an individual that will respond. I am still learning boundaries, because if you reach out to me, I'm going to respond. The fact that you took the time and you had a question, if I can answer it or help you navigate through, I'm definitely going to be there. So that's how you reach me, Shadawn McCants.
Nice. Well, Shadawn, thank you so much. This was a beautiful, candid conversation with the Ashley Stewart world and family. And you are part of the sisterhood, and you're part of our story. And we wanted to say thank you for your contributions to, to women in need of education and, the awareness around HIV and COVID, and how they both can, either affect or not affect a person living with HIV. Thank you so much for tuning in. Everybody from home office is saying hello, so say hi to everybody.
Hey guys, hi my loves. I love you guys.
And thank you everyone for tuning in for a very candid and special Ashley TV. Shadawn and Tamara signing out.
Deuces.
Bye.
Bye guys.